I got a bit of a controversial one today, and quite interesting story. There's been a lot of backlash and things going on within the major markets, and we gonna talk about it. So, give me a few minutes. Let me get everything situated. Let me get everything square. I got to get my coffee because that's what we do around here. And then, as usual, we gonna move some dollars around. So sit tight for a few more minutes. Gotta make sure our sound effects is full and in effect. Let's go. Okay. What's going on, y'all, man? Welcome to another episode of Money Mondays with Midas. And I got a very, it really depends on, the person. I have a very touchy topic today uh, regarding, what's happening in the stock market and everything pertaining to a lot of these major companies. So the name of this article, and I'm going to have the link to the article within the description so you can go down below and you can read this for yourself. It is a little bit of a lengthy lead, so I don't know how far I'm gonna read into this because I'm trying to make these videos real short, to the point, bang them out, in and out. So, all right, so this is from CNBC. Okay, boycotts hit stocks hard. Here's what might be the next for Bud-Lite, Target, and others caught in the Anti-Pride Backlash. That's the name of this article. Okay. This article was published yesterday by Christina Cheddar Burke. All right. All right. Even before Pride Month was underway, it seems as if it was open season on companies celebrating the LGBTQ community. One by one, companies have come under an expanding attack. Okay. Anheuser-Busch, Target, Kohl's, and VF Corp's North Face brand have all felt the vitriol of this latest push from the right. And the list keeps growing. These companies have been branded as woke capitalists. And worse, as critics urge boycotts of these companies' products. Bud Light came into the crosshairs after it struck a partnership with trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney. While North Face received backlash for an ad featuring drag queen Patty Gonya. I believe I said that right. My bad if I butchered the name. Target and Kohl's have been criticized for pride-themed clothing. While it's too early to say how successful these efforts will be in lowering sales at the companies recently drawn into this attack, damage has been done to the stocks already. All right. So definitely there's no bashing, there's no hatred here. We're simply, and this isn't my article, okay? So I'm just reading through and explaining what's happening, okay? So far, what we have read, that if you are on board with anything Pride, you can expect to see wallets close up for you. That's unfortunate, but let's keep reading, okay? Okay. Damage has been done to the stocks already. Okay, and some on Wall Street expect that to continue, with analysts recently downgrading Target's and Anheuser-Busch's rating, citing in part the ongoing controversy. The main reason boycotts generally are effective is because they threaten the reputation of the company by putting the company in a negative media spotlight. And companies don't want to have negative attention of any kind drawn to them, said Braden King, a professor of management and organizations who has studied how boycotts impact company stock prices, in an interview. King's research focused on 133 separate boycotts launched between 1990 and 2005, in a study that was published in 2011. About a quarter of the 177 companies targeted by these actions offered a concession to protesters. They often concede to boycotters' demands, not because they feel that their sales pressures are on them, but rather because they don't want to continue to be a target of negative media attention, he said. I want you to soak that in. They often concede to boycotters' demands, not because they feel that there's sales pressure on them. They're not even worried about the money. They can care less about the money. They care more about the reputation. Let that sink in, and let that reflect on how the world views you as a person, as your peers view you. Take that in. That's how serious reputation is. All right. King's research found that the stock of a company will fall about 1% each day of national print media coverage. But once the issue falls out of the daily news cycle, the stock generally recovers. Why Bud-Lite is an outlier. King sees Anheuser-Busch's situation as an outlier because the controversy has harmed its sales. The company has been under fire for more than 2 months. Over that time, its stock is down more than 18%. Now, 18% may not seem like a lot of money, or it may not seem like a huge percentage, but depending on where you was at in your positions, that could be a lot of money. That could be a boatload of money. With 7 weeks of data, the consumer backlash at Bud Light seems quite durable, said Cohen analyst Vivian Azer in a research note Friday. This is not a surprise to us, given how violent the responses were to Bud Light on the social media. Indeed, in each of the last 5 weeks, we have seen Miller Lite and Coors Light gain over 200 BPS of market share from Bud Light, where market share fell 390 BPS most recently. So what that mean is that because of their choice to want to partake in partnering with Dylan, they lost market share, and that's just what it is. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what the CEO is gonna do to try to recover this, recover their positions, recover their stock, recover their sales. Don't know what's gonna happen. Of course, over time, this will be forgotten. But as of right now, your stock is down 18%, and like I said, that is pretty significant. So we just have to wait and see how this pans out. I don't see them going anywhere. I don't see Bud Light closing doors over this, but to lose that much positioning of market share, it's pretty huge. Cohen's consumer research suggests that Molson Coors will be able to maintain the market share it's gaining. So, with that being said, if Coors is moving into position to be able to gain more market share and hold that market share, then Bud Light won't be able to gain that market share that they once had back. And if they do, they're going to have to fight for a while to try to get it back. Relative to Miller Lite and Coors Light, the Bud Light brand seems to skew the white consumers, men, younger consumers, and lower income consumers. The income bias towards Bud Light, we believe, is a key factor in driving the durable market share gains to tap. Azer explained. Okay. I mean, and to be honest with you, that kind of goes without saying. We really didn't need that piece of information because Miller, Bud, the Bud Light brand, they have their hardcore fan base. They have their hardcore consumers. They're gonna buy the beer regardless. If they like the beer, they like the beer, and that's that. They can care less. They're gonna have that crowd. But to a lot of other people, they take things more lightly. I'm sorry, not lightly, but they take other aspects of the brand into consideration rather. There's a reason why people are hardcore Apple advocates. Outside of it just being, a great product to them. a superior product to them. There's other aspects within the ecosystem that causes them to be loyal to the brand. Okay. And it's deeper than just give me a phone, give me a laptop. It's deeper than that. And consumers today are not just go to the store, grab something. We are a little bit more conscious. Not all the way. We definitely got some work to do, but we have become a tad bit more conscious on purchases, why we're purchasing, the benefit of the purchase, and what is the integrity value of the company that we're purchasing the product from. What is that company's personality like? I was having a conversation with another individual that when you go to purchase a product from a company, and or let's say that you call into a company and let's say that you need some support, you don't say that I spoke to Anthony over at Apple. You simply tell somebody I called Apple. Like, Apple itself is a person. It is the entity. And Apple, with all Twitter and all that, has given these companies an ability to have a personality, to be a character. So it's deeper. It is real deep. So Molson Coors shares are up 24% over the past 2 months. And I didn't catch that. What I mean is, I never thought about it. I didn't take into consideration that, and I'm just now hearing about this for one. So, for Bud Light to be under fire, I wish I would have, picked up on that. But yeah, I would have bought into other brands because that logically made sense. If this brand over here is under fire for something, chances are their stock is going to fall. Chances are their competitor's stock is going to pick up. So we got to think about that, and we got to try to do our best to pay attention to these moves and what's going on in the market. That's why it's real important that we become financially intelligent, because becoming financially intelligent is also staying on top of what's happening within the finance world, within the stock world, within the real estate world, within the credit card world, within the car world. There's different financial, faucets that we really need to, be aware of and be privy to. So, like I said, I slept on this one. I wish I didn't. It's up 24%. So let's move on. Bud Light has tried to win back customers with a $15 off rebate program on Budweiser, Bud Light, Bud Select, and Bud Select 55. While shoppers will need to put out money for the purchase on the front end, once the rebate is processed, the product is essentially free, according to Azer. So, wow. Think about that, y'all. So, Bud was under fire so bad that they have to give the beer away for free to try to win customers back. And this, I definitely want other companies to pay attention and be open-minded about, when you're standing behind certain movements, when you're promoting certain ideologies and movements. I get that everything ain't always about money and all that, and freedom to do this and freedom to do that, and all that is perfectly fine for sure. And I'm an advocate of that, saying myself, but you got to be mindful and you got to be careful, because this could be you. You thinking that you doing the right thing by, promoting inclusive, but look at what's going to happen to your stock. And this is just Bud Light. There's other companies that's under this same attack, that's under this same pressure. Okay. So just be mindful of that. You know, there's nothing wrong with being inclusive, but think about the ramifications. You know, it's deeper than just, you know, being loving and friendly and open. It's deeper than that. You know, you got to step into an actual serious business mind. Okay. It's a very small minority group. Okay. They just happen to have a really loud voice, but it's a very small group compared to the other side of consumers. And it's a whole hell of a lot more wallets on that side. And people tend to speak with their wallets. So just keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Definitely not spreading no hate or nothing like that here. That this is not that channel for that. But I am an advocate of business owners, you know, understanding what is going on in the market, and having a successful business, you know, to be able to provide for your family and to be able to leave a legacy and, you know, grow your business even bigger than what it is. So you have to be mindful of what you are putting your name behind. Different people, what people you're sponsoring, what people you put in your name behind, what people you put in your sponsorships and money behind, who you have sponsoring you, like all that matters. You know, you have to really, really pay attention to that. All right. Will this be enough to soothe angry consumers? She's unconvinced. Hmm. Recall, there were consumers that were happy to destroy beer they had already purchased. Beer don't get destroyed around here. You're not welcome in my house destroying beer bottles. It's just, you could destroy it after you drink it, you know. But there are several factors contributing to the impact the Bud Light boycott is having on sales that are specific to the beer category, according to King. He said the first is that a bar, restaurant, or music venue could remove the product, which takes the decision away from consumers. Then there is the social nature of drinking. See there? That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I was just talking about. Being mindful of who you're promoting, who you got your name behind, or who has their name behind you. You know, it's getting to the point where bars and restaurants and music venues are actually removing the product because of fear that customers are not going to come to their venue, are not going to come to their bar because they serve that beer. That's what I'm talking about. That's how deep this goes. That's how serious it is. It isn't just Bud-Lite that's under fire. It's all these other companies that have businesses and organizations and other occupations or whatever that's surrounding that product. That's what I'm talking about. All right. When you're purchasing something in private, there's nobody looking over your shoulder to hold you accountable, King said. However, beer may be purchased to drink with friends, so there could be more social pressure, he said. So now, not only has it stemmed from Bud, the brand, to now bars, restaurants, and music venues, and it can even probably go as far as events like concerts or baseball games and football games and basketball. You know what I'm saying? All these other types of venues or whatever could stop serving the beer just to make sure that they're not, you know, angering people because of this backlash. You know, everybody is going into asset protection. Everybody is going into making sure that they can still lock down their customers. Even if they lose a few that's part of that community. Even if they lose those that are part of that community, they still have this whole entire side over here that they can still sustain their business with. To now, it's even boiled down to even social gatherings, private social gatherings, to where you probably got people looking at each other crazy. Man, you drinking Bud Light? Do you know what they about? Do you know what they support? You drinking that? You bought that? And now you got friends and family, you know what I'm saying, having debates and debacles over beer. And to you, it's just beer. But it's deeper than that to a lot of people. And you gotta be open-minded enough to understand that it's deeper than just beer. All right. Companies on edge. I'm gonna read a little bit more and then we're gonna go ahead because we are approaching. Matter of fact, I'm gonna stop it right there because this article, just that little piece right there, explains like a lot of what's going on, the ramifications. But like I said, I'm gonna have a link to this article because I really want y'all to read it. There's a whole lot more information within this article because it starts talking about Target and a bunch of other companies too. So, and it's talking about Target and the VF Corp and all that as well, and how their stock, took a plummet too. So, all right. So with that being said, we are going to move over to, you guessed it, we finna start moving our dollars. We finna start moving our dollars. Let's get it. Let's go. All right. So last week we put money in Nvidia and Microsoft. Okay, today I'm feeling going regular. I feel like going regular. So I feel like putting money into the Vanguard 500 EFT and the S&P 500. So both up, by the way, 1.4, 1.5%. So I got about $77 in there. That's not bad. That's not bad. But that right there goes to show you we don't have to spend a whole entire $393.26. I only put in $77. All right. I'm gonna hit buy. I'm gonna hit $1. I'm gonna hit next. $1. $1 buys me 0.002% of shares. Let's get it. That's it, y'all. $1. $1. So now we're gonna go back. Go back. And then we're gonna go into the S&P. We're gonna do the same thing. All right. So S&P is $427.92 a share. All right, and it's up $6 today. I got $107 in there. Not bad. And that $107, like what you see me doing, $1 here, $2 there, $3 here, another dollar there. That's all I'm doing, man. All right. So we bought S&P for $1. And you guys can do this too. Now remember the programs that we're using is Stockpile. We're using Stockpile. And we're using Robinhood. Okay? All right. Cool. That leaves me with 85 cents in my account. I'm going to upcharge it for next week so we can purchase and move some more dollars around. So next, let's jump on over to Robinhood. So I got about 1,700 in there. It moved up a little bit. My whole entire portfolio is up $13. Not life-changing money, but getting you guys comfortable and acclimated to putting in some money in the stock market, understanding the stock market, how to move money around, how to buy stocks, okay? This is not financial advice. Please make sure that you seek a financial advisor or a fiduciary. I'm simply just showing you guys what I do, what I use, and how little of amount that I'm putting in so that I can become an owner of these companies. All right. So today I'm feeling like buying some more Microsoft. Let's buy some more Microsoft. Let's do $2 of Microsoft. Bam, bam. My $2 of Microsoft buys me 0.005% of shares. Okay. Go back out of that. I'm feeling like Disney too. You know, their platform has been doing so well. They're up $2 today. That's not bad. Again, not life-changing money. But just to get you guys comfortable, just to get you guys in here, just to get you guys putting something in. Just to put something in, okay? That's all we're doing here is getting you guys going, getting the juices flowing, getting you comfortable, getting you moving. Put something in. And you know what? Like I said, we're not gonna bother with crypto on this channel. And like I said, that may change over time. But as of right now, I'm not looking to get deep into crypto on this channel. So, and what you can also do is you can also go here. Let me show you what I did. So I went up to the little icon right here. It's going to take you to this screen, and then you can look up like the 100 most popular. Like it's going to give you the list of the most popular stuff, and you can do your searches that way. Let's go with daily movers. Okay, Matterport. I already got 5 shares of Matterport. I don't understand why that won't. Okay, it's just bothering me. MongoDB. Okay, let's look at them. They're up 28.4% today. Let's find out. Let's click into them. They're up $82.32 today. Whoa. That's a nice movement. Now imagine it's $377 a share though. So if you was able to get in when they were like under $100, let's say that you got in and they were under $100. So let's say that you bought 100 shares. You spent $900. Okay, that got you 100 shares. It moved up $82.82 today. It's $3.77 a share. So 100 times. And I'm pretty sure my math is right. But if you would have bought in when they were under $100 and you just bought 100 shares at $90 a share, and it's at $3.77 now, and I didn't even count the 43 cents, you would be about $38,000, somewhere around $38,000 right now today. So let's take a look at them. MongoDB Incorporated engages in the development and provision of a general purpose database platform. The firm's products includes MongoDB Enterprise Advanced, MongoDB Atlas, and Community Server. It also offers professional services including consulting and training. The company was founded by Elliot Horowitz, Dwight A. Merriman, Kevin P. Ryan, and Gear Magnuson Jr. in November 2007 and is headquartered in New York, New York. The listed name for MDB. Okay. Class A common stock. Okay, so it was even higher today. So at today's high almost smacked $400 a share. It opened at 380. So today it opened at 380. So the stock market opens, I believe, at 4 a.m. in New York. So it opened at 380, went as high as 390. It went as low as 364, and then it bounced back at 377. Let's put $1 in. And so a lot of people try to do this whole like trying to gauge the market, try to figure out when is the best time to buy, when is the best time to sell. To be completely honest with you, there really is no true way to really gauge the market. You really can't. You don't know what company is going to do what. You don't know when what company is something's going to happen, something major positive, something major negative, just like Bud-Lite. Had no clue that this backlash was going to happen. Had no clue that it was going to get to a point where they're giving the beer away for free just to win customers back. You know, you just don't know. So I like the philosophy of to just put it in. Put it in, diversify. Put it in, diversify. A lot of people don't like the diversify word. To them, they seem like you don't know what you're doing. To me, I think you know exactly what you're doing, because if you put all of your eggs into iHeartMedia, everybody should know what iHeartRadio is. We can buy 2 shares of these. Why not? Remember in the corner here, right here where it says dollars, you can flip that into shares. We're going to buy 2 shares. $6. Now I own 2 full shares. And now let's say that this $3, let's say that this $3.19 moves into $10 a share. I essentially made $14 because it's going to gain $7 in profit for me. So I made $14. Again, not life changing money, but we're here just to try to get you guys comfortable and playing with dollars, getting dollars in the game. And that's it, man. We'll probably leave it off at that. You know what I'm saying? So we moved a couple dollars around. Please read the article. I think that article really explains a lot outside of what's happening with the major brands and the backlash and everything and how it tanked the stock market and all that. But reading within the lines, reading the bars within the bars is what my brother liked to say. Really understanding what this article is telling you as a business owner, even if you're not a business owner, I think it's still, say commendable for you to read it so that you can have a better understanding as to why things are the way they are and blah, blah, blah. So, oh man, I just noticed that I was all the way. Oh, never mind. Never mind. But anyway, people, me and Jack, I'm gonna finish my coffee, and I hope from that article, like I said, we didn't read the whole thing, but I hope that you learned something with my little commentary and my little explanations as to why you should be careful, why you really have to take the time to thoroughly think about these partnerships and these sponsorships and who you stand behind and who stands behind you, like who you stamp your name on or who stamps their name on you. That matters. That really matters. And then take into account that it's a trickle effect. So now again, as we explained from the article, that restaurants, bars, and music venues pretty much have removed Bud-Lite out of their venues to keep the commotion down, to keep them from losing customers. To now it stemmed to private social settings. So now friends and family, it's affecting friends and family over this. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal, and it needs to be treated as such. So just be careful out there, and be mindful. Again, there's no hatred. It's all love over here. For sure. And so what I'm saying, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But from a business standpoint, some things, some movements just ain't your movement. Okay, this how they have the saying: all money ain't good money. All movements ain't good movements. And I'll just leave it at that. But tune in next Monday for Money Mondays with Midas. We definitely gonna have another article. I don't know if it's gonna be spicy. I usually go through the week and try to find something that's very interesting. That isn't repetitive information that everybody else is talking about. But I came across this one from yesterday, and like I said, I wish I would have caught this wave because I would have put some money in course. You know, make sure that you tune in Tuesday, which is tomorrow. Make sure you tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we have the classic, original, Extraordinary Men podcast show. Make sure you also tune in same time on Friday. It's always Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday is 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure that you guys tap in and tune in with us. Make sure that you go to the YouTube channel, like, share, subscribe, and click the bell. Make sure you check out all of our other videos, all of our other lives that we recorded, all of the reels that we got recorded. Make sure you tap in and take a look at all that content. We have a ton of content for y'all to just zone out on. We got a lot of it, okay? Also, make sure that you hit us up on the Facebook group, the Extraordinary Men Facebook group. That's where you can tap in with us directly. You can ask us questions. You can bring up concepts. You can bring up concerns. But that's where you can link with us directly and communicate with us directly, okay? So I am Midas. Make sure you put a king in front of that. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.